Well, good morning, shareholders and other friends of the company, and welcome. My name's John Grant, and I'm Executive Chairman of Firstwave Cloud Technology. At Firstwave, we have a very clear mission to democratise enterprise-grade cybersecurity as a service for small to medium businesses globally. By this, we mean to take the highest quality cybersecurity services normally only available to the largest enterprises and make them affordable and easily accessible for all businesses that choose or do not have the capacity to own and operate their own security infrastructure. In doing so, Firstwave uniquely protects them against ever-increasing cybersecurity risk. I know many of you have been following the Firstwave story for some time, some of you very patiently for a long time. Those of you who have tuned into our recent shareholder updates will have heard me say that an important inflection point in Firstwave's history was arriving imminently. Well, I'm delighted to say that day has come. Today, we launch CyberCision, Firstwave's significantly upgraded platform for enterprise-grade cybersecurity services. We have heralded it as the most transformational technology upgrade in Firstwave's history and a watershed moment for Firstwave, its shareholders, and its partners and their SMB customers. Today, we will put the meat on the bones of that claim. And no better person to do it than Roger Cavosso, who for the last 6 years has been Firstwave's Chief Product Officer. Prior to joining Firstwave, Roger was at Telstra for over 20 years, holding a number of senior enterprise telecom and IT portfolio and product strategy and management positions in Australian and international business units. Roger will take us through the new CyberCision platform and explain in some detail the features that underpin our confidence in it being the most transformational technology upgrade in Firstwave's history and the benefits that flow to our partners and end users. Firstwave's advisor on technology and markets and ex-Cisco Australia and New Zealand Chief Technical Officer Kevin Block is also with us. Kevin's really well positioned to form an independent judgment on our claim, and he will also moderate the panel discussion to get under the skin of what CyberCision can do for our partners and for Firstwave. Joining Kevin on the panel is our Chief Technology Officer, Simon Ryan. Simon has been with Firstwave since its formation as a spin-out from Telstra Innovation Labs. As the technical architect of CyberCision, Simon has applied his 30+ years of experience to ensuring it meets our claim as transformational technology. Firstwave's success is obviously highly correlated with the take-up of its products from our partners, so we thought you would be keen to hear what they have to say. So firstly, I'm very pleased that we'll be able to welcome Matt O'Brien, Telstra's recently appointed cybersecurity executive, who will join us by video to describe the cybersecurity challenges facing Telstra's business customers and how the partnership with Firstwave is key to helping solve those problems today. And secondly, also joining by video is Sai Pratush, Group Product Head, Internet of Things, Cloud and Software as a Service for Tata Telebusiness Services, one of our largest level 1 partners in India. But before we get to all of that, a little housekeeping. If you've got any questions, please lodge them via the Q&A function on Zoom. If we have time, we'll answer them on the call, but if not, we'll come back to you later today. So to kick things off, I'm delighted to welcome Kenny Yeo, cybersecurity analyst from leading global consultancy Frost & Sullivan. Kenny is also clearly positioned to give you an independent view on CyberCision, as well as providing an important industry perspective of the global cybersecurity landscape and the challenges facing SMBs and service providers who serve them. Please welcome Kenny.
Thank you so much, and good morning, everyone. My name is Kenny from Frost & Sullivan, and I'm honored today to speak to you about this important issue of managed security services, and especially how this is vitally important to small and medium businesses. Now, even as all of us have gone through now 1 year of the COVID, I think we can all agree that the global pandemic has changed the way that we all work. When you look at some data that Frost & Sullivan has collected, of course, on the left, you see that all of us had to adapt to working from home. But I wanted to bring your attention to the data point that you see on the right. You really see, we asked CIO respondents about whether their staff and workforce were suffering from some level of burnout And interestingly, 90+% of our respondents said that there was some level of burnout in their organization. And the most popular response is actually about 50 to 60% of their staff actually suffering from some sort of burnout. Now, this is in a way something we are all experiencing now as well. We're talking about work from home. We're talking about morning calls, evening calls, lunchtime calls, on video. So this has a big implication from a HR perspective, right? For retention, for making sure that we get the correct people. But this has an unforeseen consequence for cybersecurity as well, right? Worker burnout means sometimes our staff are not so attentive. They may have lax attitudes, or they may be clicking on the wrong email, going to the wrong website. So this has definitely an implication on the growing level of cyber risk in our organizations. Now, today we want to better understand this change and how it affects and impacts businesses. So we will be going through 3 main points this morning. Number 1, how is digital transformation and customer engagement changing today? How is this, unfortunately, leading to higher levels of cyber risk? Number 2, what are the different ways that small businesses are coping with cybersecurity? And number 3, service providers can play a very important and key role. So how can service providers help these small businesses as they progress on their cybersecurity journey? Now, Frost & Sullivan wants to provide you some context as we think about these issues. So we'll be using Frost & Sullivan recent market analysis, and we've managed to collect a very, very recent data set, interestingly, just this past month in October, and will include views from Asia, Australia, and Europe, right? For Asia, we are using Singapore as a good reference point. For Europe, we're using the UK. And what we looked at were respondents from C-level, CEO all the way to CIO, CISO. We're focusing on small and medium businesses under 500 employees in technology segments like IT, technology, retail, consumer, and manufacturing. And 63% of our respondents are key decision makers. So we understand that we have a relatively wide audience. So for those who are in the broader Asia Pacific space, I recommend that you look at the Singapore data point. So that would act as a good reference point for what's happening in the Asia Pacific countries as well. With that, let's get started on the very first point. First point is around digital transformation and customer engagement. I think this is definitely something that we see as companies are definitely moving to adopt digital transformation more and more. We see that a vast majority of our respondents say that digital transformation, they're either at the start of the digitization journey, making significant progress, or already having achieved complete digitization. Very small percentage, around 15%, actually think that they are not, digitization is not part of their strategy at all. I think this is definitely the way that organizations are thinking. Digital transformation is crucial now, especially as the traditional ways of doing business, over physical meetings, over lunch, over coffee, at conferences, at trade shows, all these were restricted for such a long time in many countries. So definitely we see this move of digital transformation among businesses. Now, even as businesses go digital, one of the key technologies used is the cloud. Cloud definitely has so many benefits. The flexibility, not needing to spend a long time doing implementation to get started, or spending a large amount for CapEx to start the technology base, right? So this definitely has a lot of benefits, especially for smaller businesses. Now we see that SMEs are adopting the cloud very much more, with a majority of organizations, 63%, saying that they are cloud first, with a majority of their workloads on the cloud. So this really is continuing the theme of digital transformation, and this cloud acceleration is definitely moving ahead as well. Now, with this progress, new technologies, working from home, digital transformation. Unfortunately, it means that the organizations have to protect a vast new perimeter. Our old way of thinking of protecting our organization was really based on what you see on screen, an old network perimeter, focused on secure offices, secure branches, using secured company-issued devices maybe, on very, very protected data centers. What this means today is that we have to deal with remote offices. Now, every employee's home is a branch office. We have to deal with working from home, new cloud applications, new private cloud applications, extension of using, augmenting your workforce with contractors, vendors, personal devices. So all these things mean that we have to find a new way of dealing with cybersecurity amidst more sophisticated threats and amidst a lack of cybersecurity expertise as well. Now, we wanted to better understand the impact of this new perimeter on SMEs' cybersecurity. So we asked SMEs about did they get a cybersecurity incident in the last 12 months? Now, let me explain the options here first. In light blue, we see that this option says that the organizations have experienced at least one cybersecurity incident in the past 12 months. And for those who answered no, we wanted to understand a bit better. Did they actually do forensics checks? Did they actually do data breach assessments? And only the ones here that you mark in dark blue have the confidence to say that they haven't got a cybersecurity incident and they have done forensics and assessments to ensure that it were not breached. So unfortunately, we see that it's a huge problem that we face today because of the COVID pandemic. In Singapore, we have 80% of organizations actually having at least one cybersecurity incident in the past year. Australia is close behind with 78%. If you put this in with the other organizations who have not got an incident but haven't checked, or another portion below who don't even know, it really means that 94% of SMEs are at risk. And this is a huge issue. To give you some context, Frost & Sullivan has been asking this similar question over the years. And during the year before COVID, this situation was much lower. The number of incident rates was pretty much around 30+%, right? So it really shows that this COVID environment is making things more difficult for organizations and definitely raising the level of cyber risk. The top security incidents encountered, the top three, number one were ransomware, number two, the vulnerability of unpatched systems, and number three, web defacement. Now, it's interesting to note that in some ways, some of these could have been prevented in different ways using security controls, very common ones. For example, ransomware is something that really comes in through two main gateways to the organization, through email and through web. So, having email security, web security, just like, what the CyberCision platform has part of, would actually help regarding this ransomware in some way. The second one about unpatched systems is really a cyber hygiene measure that organizations have to do on their own. Is there a patch management kind of process that organizations have to make sure that their systems are patched and up to date? So this is definitely something that organizations should also look at. The key takeaway as we finish this first key point is that small businesses are definitely facing more cyber risk today. Now, so far, we've discussed the impact of digital transformation on SMEs and how this is unfortunately leading to higher incidents and higher risk. So now in this second section, we want to better understand how businesses are coping with cybersecurity. Now, we see because of all the additional risk, businesses are starting to understand and starting to be open to spending more to protect themselves. We see organizations now more willing, with a majority of organizations saying that between 11 to 15% increase of their IT security budget. And this is a good sign. It really shows that they recognize that there needs to be more things done for the organization. Now, even as businesses try to improve cybersecurity, unfortunately, they are also faced with setbacks. When you look at it from the different countries, we see that the top issue is around the difficulty of acquiring skilled talent. Number two, around security, reduced security budgets. Number three, difficulty in justifying budgets to management. So these are the three key issues. And to me, it's really about talent and budgets reflect a buy-in issue. Now, if the management really buys into the whole idea of cybersecurity and cyber risk, in my opinion, management will be definitely more willing and able to help the CIO and IT team with more budget. So we still see that reduced budgets, difficulty justifying budgets still is an issue. So we see that organizations definitely need to be more proactive as they think about cybersecurity. Here are 4 key reasons why businesses should be more proactive. Number one, we definitely see and we hear about the more sophisticated risk environment, right? And I think one thing we have to note for small businesses, could be even an existential threat to the business itself. We all know the losses for cybersecurity are wide-ranging. It's not just the immediate direct financial loss, but also things like reputational loss, customer loss as well. So definitely sophisticated risk environment is one key factor. Number two is around tightening regulation. Governments are definitely not standing still. They want to help their organizations and the people get better protected. So we see more data privacy laws in place, more policies and regulation. So this means for an end user, higher requirements for compliance. Number three, we see expertise, and we've talked about this just now as well. Difficulty in getting the correct people in and having to compete with the large vendors, large service providers, large organizations. So SMEs very often have to just make do. Typically we hear of the IT guy trying to help out with cybersecurity at the same time, even though he doesn't have complete training. And number four, of course, is really a mindset. How do organizations move from thinking of cybersecurity simply as a compliance issue to something that could actually be a business differentiator as well? So how do we help them to think about cyber and cyber risk and then managing that cyber risk so they can focus on their core business? So as we complete this second point, I think the key takeaway for this is clear. Businesses face so many challenges, even as they're trying to focus on their core business and core business activities. Now, we've covered so far how businesses are moving to digital transformation and the cloud. And in the second portion, we've discussed how SMEs are struggling to cope with cybersecurity amidst regulation, amidst threats. So in this third portion, we want to discuss how we can support these businesses in their cybersecurity journey. Now, we wanted to better understand SMEs and how willing they are to outsource cybersecurity. So in this particular study, we see that 60% of organizations, smaller organizations, have already moved to outsource some of their cybersecurity to a third party. And an additional 30% actually look and plan to do that in the next 12 months. So this is a good sign. It really shows that organizations are looking actively for alternatives to cope with cybersecurity, and outsourcing is one of the key ways. The top reasons for outsourcing of cybersecurity are, number one, balancing regulatory compliance, a common theme based on all the issues that we've heard in the earlier section. Number two, about the lack of resources, again, a common theme, and lack of budgets, again, a repeat of what we've heard earlier. Now, it's interesting to see that for Australia, there's a third one, the increasing level of IT and cybersecurity complexity, right? So it really shows that organizations definitely are looking to outsource, and the reasons are directly to address the issues that they have been facing on a day-to-day basis. Now, we always talk about cybersecurity as a whole industry, end users as a whole group, but there are very big differences between SMEs and enterprises and how they manage cybersecurity. So most enterprises, large enterprises, are better equipped to handle this issue internally. When you look at some of the data that we have on slide here, we see in dark blue, large enterprises, almost half would choose to actually do their cybersecurity in-house. They do not outsource. But you see on this slide here, on this section here, SMEs, more than half, actually choose to outsource 50 to 75% of their cybersecurity to a third party to better manage. So this really is an indication of how there's such a big difference between SMEs and enterprises as they think about outsourcing. SMEs typically have less IT baggage or cybersecurity legacy, so they're able to move faster as we think about cybersecurity and thinking about outsourcing. So let me come back to service providers. Service providers can play a very important role in helping businesses and their cybersecurity transformation, right? Number one, we see here, definitely service providers have a very large customer base. They have an established base of customers, typically with a large proportion of them being small businesses. Number two, connectivity has always been one of the core business areas for service providers. We feel that B2B services like cybersecurity are actually a very good complementary service to bundle together and really help these smaller businesses with all the issues that we talked about, regulatory requirements, meet their needs for expertise. And number three, which is also important, is definitely this is a growing area of demand in the market. Based on Frost & Sullivan's research, we see that managed security services grew, the market in APAC grew 12.6% in 2020. And let's keep in mind, this was actually during the COVID year, which is very good. The APAC market is expected to grow in the next 5 years at a 14.2 compound annual growth rate. And this really gives an opportunity for service providers to help these smaller businesses with their digital transformation and cybersecurity transformation as well. Now, we want to conclude this presentation by recapping the three main points once again. Number one, it's really around digital transformation. Businesses are accelerating to this to better engage with their customers. Number two, unfortunately, as this digital transformation efforts are ongoing, the rise of digital risk is increasing dramatically as well. And number three, there is an opportunity for these businesses to really tap onto expertise as a service, outsource expertise. And this presents a big immediate opportunity for service providers. With that, I really thank you for your attention. That ends my presentation. I'd like to pass it back to John. Thank you.
Thanks, Kenny, for truly excellent context. Just picking the eyes out of some of that, 94% of SMEs at risk. That's interesting because when you couple it with other research that we've quoted recently, 43% of all cyber threats are aimed at SMEs. If you work that combination together, that's a very, very high risk environment. I think the pleasing thing is that realization that, there needs to be more investment made. There needs to be something done, whether in fact it's an outsourcing, or whether it's buying more product, whatever it is, but most SMEs are willing to spend more to get safe. That indicates that there's a greater understanding of this. I think we can also feel confident from Kenny's comments that there's a significant gap in the market for a platform like CyberCision to solve the needs of its target market, its small to medium business customer and service providers. But in a sense, we all knew that, and Kenny's given credence to that. You'll hear more from Kenny on the panel. Now to the meat on the bones. To launch CyberCision, let me hand over to my colleague and Firstwave's Chief Product Officer, Roger Cavosso. Over to you, Rog.
Thank you very much, John. Good morning and to all of you, and welcome. As John intimated, CyberCision is the most transformational technology upgrade to Firstwave's platform in its history. We believe it is no exaggeration to say that its launch is a watershed moment for the company. As John said, my job is to put the meat on the bones of that claim. CyberCision involves investment of around 5 million Australian dollars of shareholder funds into significantly enhanced platform technology and major cross-company commitments in products, marketing, sales, and operations. CyberCision enables service providers to protect their SMB customers from an unprecedented range of cyber attacks with less friction, more functionality, and additional features than the previous platform. So we believe CyberCision will enable our partners to protect their SMB customers while significantly increasing their cybersecurity revenues which will provide the foundation for their and Firstwave's combined success over the long term. So firstly, I would like to just recap on how we sell our product and to whom. So as we presented to investors on Firstwave's product roadmap update session late last year, Firstwave sells its platform to its service provider customers, which consist of some of the world's largest telcos, service providers, and MSSPs, including Telstra in Australia and Tata in India. And in turn, these service providers sell products off the platform to tens of thousands of their SMB customers, who generally, as we heard before, lack the human and financial resources to protect themselves from the potentially terminal and ever-changing cybersecurity threats they face. Today, Firstwave has a unique platform called CCSP that is available to more than 120 level 1 and level 2 partners to use to sell and deliver security services to their customers. At the current time, we estimate the addressable market opportunity to be worth about $4 billion in terms of obtainable revenue today. However, to date, Firstwave has struggled to get those partners to generate anywhere near their potential revenue. So we did the sensible thing. We decided to ask them why. Last June, we held our inaugural Firstwave Customer Advisory Board, FCAB forums with our partners. The feedback from these sessions, as well as the many ongoing interactions we have with partners, are that they are almost unanimously positive about the CCSP platform. After all, there's around 40% of signed up partners billing today. However, the majority of international partners are selling only one security product, typically email, or maybe two, email and web, and only have a few customers. So we asked our partners, what do they think is preventing the widespread adoption of the platform-based services by their customers? And the feedback they gave us was clear. They told us that the platform was too hard to turn on, too complex, too difficult to create security bundles or sell through a SaaS marketplace, that onboarding and activating customers is laborious, they cannot deliver good enough reporting, and managing billing and invoice reconciliation and payment is too manual. Partners also tell us that their SMB customers do see a lot of value in the email security offering, but they want a complete all-in-one package security solution that fits their budget and which is much easier to purchase and pay for, can be activated easily, and has comprehensive reporting to confirm they are protected and secure, and confirms the service is giving them value for money. So as a result, many SMBs are not buying the partner service, but staying with point solutions, which are too complex or fragmented to manage properly. And these customers remain unsure if they are properly protected or vulnerable, or if they are at risk of business impact from cyber attacks. So the result of all this is that our partners are not signing up as many customers, building sales momentum, or generating the revenue off the CCSP platform as they or we expected. So the big question is, what is Firstwave doing to address this problem? Okay, so CyberCision is the answer. Today, we are announcing the launch of Firstwave CyberCision, the brand name for our new transformed platform and product proposition for our partners and their SMB end users. CyberCision is fast, accurate, and affordable. Provides incisive cybersecurity at a price point that is accessible for the SMB market, while providing access to best-in-class technologies from global cybersecurity technology leaders behind one pane of glass and without any of the friction of the previous platform. So let's go into a little more detail. What's different about the CyberCision platform? The investment that I mentioned earlier on builds upon Firstwave's unique core platform technology and intellectual property, but, and this is very important, adds pivotal and very important new capabilities that will address the issues our partners have made us aware of. And the outcomes of this will be that CyberCision removes friction to increasing sales momentum and revenue growth via Firstwave's leverage go-to-market model. It will enable partners to increase their average revenue per user by selling security service bundles to their SMB customers. And it'll give SMBs access to an affordable integrated security solution to protect their business from potentially terminal cyber threats. I'll return to these new capabilities shortly. CyberCision is the world's first open security management platform, or OSMP, for service providers. Firstly, it's open because multiple third-party security vendors and many different security functions can be integrated to enable a suite of best-in-class security services that the service provider can sell to their customers. Secondly, it is a specialized platform for provisioning security services at scale. Thirdly, it provides full lifecycle and operational management capabilities for service providers with minimal call on additional resources or expenditure. And lastly, as a platform, it serves as a single place for service providers to deliver and manage security services. So in the coming 2 quarters, we will be deploying the CyberCision software upgrade across all of our platforms. We'll make CyberCision available as a product to all of our partners, whether they be existing or new, and we'll support the onboarding of partners to the CyberCision product and platform. So once onboarded, partners can make use of the new capabilities in the CyberCision platform, which I'll speak to in a moment, and they can sell and deliver any or all of the services shown on the right-hand side of this slide to their SMB customers. These are what we refer to as EW, FE, and ADR. Partners will have freedom of choice to market and offer these services, either standalone or bundled under their own brand. I'll now provide an overview of these new CyberCision capabilities and especially how and why these will transform Firstwave's business. As I alluded to earlier, there are extremely important and totally new capabilities in the CyberCision platform at launch that will address and remedy the current roadblocks to partner sales momentum and drive unprecedented acceleration of FCT's product sales performance through its partner channel. As shown on the slide, going clockwise from top right, these are unified management, multi-vendor integration, extended detection and response, and telco APIs. These new capabilities will be pivotal to drive a new level of Firstwave product sales and revenue growth through partners. In practical terms, this changes things significantly from today's platform. So for partners, service management goes from really just being email and firewall to a full suite of EW, FE, and ADR. Support for bundling goes from very limited to any bundle combination whatsoever. The time and effort to fulfill orders will change from hours and many dollars per order to minutes and a few dollars or fraction of dollars per order. The number of integrated vendors will grow from the current set to many more vendors and products in future. Email and web security services will move from very good to market leading for SMBs. And finally, the scope for process automation by the partner will change from 0 to up to 100% process automation. So let's take a closer look at these. Unified management provides a powerful new unified management interface on the platform for partners to create, offer, deliver, and manage some or all EW, FE, and ADR security services as offers, including bundles, through wider sales or reseller channels. It's far beyond what is possible on the platform today. It'll also afford greater agility to partners in security service offer customization, if and when required, for specific reseller channel programs or for marketing campaigns. And this will increase customer acquisition rate and services revenue growth, all in a simplified, repeatable, and scalable manner at lower cost. It will reduce the partner or seller's time, labor, and cost to fulfill each order for services of bundles dramatically. So multi-vendor integration is an enhanced API framework on the platform to enable additional security vendors and products to be much more easily and more quickly brought onto the platform with little to no partner investment or effort. Partners thereby can define and execute a roadmap to launch, sell, deliver, and bill a broadening suite of security services at higher revenue and margin per end customer. XDR, or extended detection and response. This is unique technology in the new CyberCision platform behind ADR, advanced detection and response services, that will transform CyberCision EWFE services for SMBs. Instead of only larger enterprises having access today to XDR technology, and typically only available from a single vendor, now any Firstwave partner and its SMB end user can take advantage of XDR in our platform. This journey starts today with Email ADR Premium, which will outshine options like Microsoft 365 email security in terms of being more efficacious, more cost-effective, and simpler to manage and use for phishing protection and as a solution for SMBs. SMBs will absolutely prize this market-leading 100% automated and proactive email threat protection at their perimeter, and being unique and differentiated in the market, partners will cash in on this. On the near-term roadmap, the CyberCision XDR-powered email plus web plus ADR bundle service will be a game-changing security offering. And finally, telco APIs. This is a new feature of the CyberCision platform, exposing a set of comprehensive APIs that were published and made available to all partners to use and integrate with. This furnishes partners with programmatic access to all functions of the unified management portal that I mentioned before. They can connect their own internal BSS, OSS systems, or indeed their own marketplaces to these telco APIs on the platform and completely automate their end-to-end service management processes for security services delivered through reseller channels to SMBs. So using telco APIs, partner or reseller efforts to fulfill service and bundle orders will fall to near zero. So let's return to the key point. So what are these new CyberCision capabilities used by our partners going to mean for Firstwave's business? So in short, they will accelerate partner sales success and in turn will deliver benefits for Firstwave and its shareholders and investors. With CyberCision in use by partners, we will see more partners and resellers billing than today, more end customers billed per partner, and more products billed per end customer, which will drive an acceleration in product annualized recurring revenue and product margins. And these new capabilities will be available now. But we're also announcing some really exciting new capabilities and services on the short-term product roadmap that will just totally transform the value derived from the platform for SMB end users. These are frictionless email, mobile reporting app, and marketplace integration. These are in development now and will be available to partners in Q3 and Q4 of financial year 22. Firstly, frictionless email. This will transform how partners can sell and SMBs will activate email security services on the platform. This will mean that partners can pitch a far more compelling email security proposition than they can today. They'll be able to convert prospects to paid customers much faster. And they'll reduce email service activation time, excuse me, from days to minutes. And this is a dramatic change to our offer. For FCT, this will mean increased email product sales velocity through the partner channel. The mobile app, this will dramatically transform the SMB end user security value and experience and allow partners to provide these SMB customers with world-class cybersecurity in their pocket. I should absolutely highlight this will be a unique offering in the market, and therefore partners will have a unique sales proposition, USP, to sign up more SMB customers. And as well, customer lifetime value will increase because of high customer satisfaction, stickiness of the solution, and cross-sell, upsell potential. Again, for Firstwave, this will be positive. This will mean increased multi-product sales and revenue growth. And finally, marketplace integration. This will allow partners, especially telcos, to publish and sell security bundles off their digital marketplaces. This will enable partners to sell security services and bundles off our platform to a potentially massive SMB and SOHO customer base in their respective markets. So when launched, these will without doubt extend Firstwave's unique position in the market as security management platform provider for service providers. So finally, let me wrap up to explain how CyberCision today and in the coming months will accelerate Firstwave's growth. Using CyberCision, our partners will now be able to create, tailor, and manage new security service bundles for SMB customers, sell and transact at volume through reseller channels or digital marketplaces, onboard and provision customers without friction, deliver customer reporting on a mobile app around the clock, and efficiently manage billing, reconciliation, and payments, all of which means their business will grow, they'll make more money, and have safer, happier customers. And in future, the partner will have more services available on the platform to create new offerings for different customers and segments. So Firstwave is really excited about what CyberCision will do for our business, our partners' business, and their customers. So that concludes my part of the presentation. You'll have the opportunity to hear more at the next panel session. So thank you very much for joining. Back to you, John.
Thanks, Roger. And I hope from Roger's explanation of CyberCision and the way it's different from what we currently offer in the market, I hope you'll be able to see what it offers and how the benefits it provides our partners and their customers can drive growth in our revenues and ultimately, of course, provide the returns to shareholders we are all expecting. Let's now move to the panel and to Kevin Block as moderator. Over to you, Kevin.
Thanks, John. Welcome, everybody, and thanks, Kenny and Roger. First of all, Kenny, you did an excellent round-out view of this massive acceleration in transformation, acceleration in risk, and the opportunity for service providers. Roger, I think you summarized it really well, and we're going to get in under the skin or under the bonnet in a few minutes. I also want to say it's an important day for all of our partners, our investors, and equally all of the employees in Firstwave. And personally, I've been very pleased to be part of this massive transformation that John has led in the company. I know it's years and years of work, and you're seeing the results today. I'm pretty excited about it. Before we move into the panel, I do want to share with you a video of one of our very important customers, Telstra. And this is Matt O'Brien, Head of Cybersecurity and in charge of products and technology at Telstra.
Hi everybody, it's a pleasure to be talking with you today. My name is Matthew O'Brien. I am Telstra's Cybersecurity Executive responsible for building the products and services that we take to market. We have a simple vision, and that is to create innovative and engaging cybersecurity products and services which protect our customers and enable them to connect with confidence. And we do that with the support of some very strategic partners like Firstwave. Now, I wanted to spend just a couple of minutes with you talking about the importance of cybersecurity and the impact that we're seeing on business. Now, you will have seen over the last 2 years an explosion in the amount of cyber threat activity. And today, ransomware is rated the #1 issue facing businesses in Australia. This, combined with the business transformation towards cloud-first and software-based offerings, means we need new, innovative ways of helping to protect our customers and defend them from cyber threats. This, combined with the fact that about 50% of customers believe they should be doing more to protect themselves, and 1/3 of customers not knowing what products and services are the right services to protect themselves, means it presents us with opportunities to go out, have that conversation, and to help better protect our customers. So what is it that Telstra does to help protect our customers from security threats? There's two things. We develop dedicated security products and services that are aimed at protecting and defending our customers from those cyber threats. We also make sure that any product and service that Telstra brings to market is done with security in mind, so that customers can purchase those offerings with the confidence knowing that they are secured by design. Now, there's no guarantees when it comes to cybersecurity though, and with the advancement of threat actors and the sophistication, along with the fact that people still continue to be our weakest link when it comes to security, it's just a matter of time before someone is compromised. And this is where we come and help. Telstra and Firstwave have been partners for a number of years now, and we continue to work on developing and delivering security products and services to some of Australia's most important businesses. We also share a joint objective, and that is to streamline and simplify security operations. We want to cut through the complexity, and we want to reduce the technical and operational debt customers are facing today. Firstwave's launch of their new security management platform is a great step forward in helping customers get a comprehensive and integrated view of their security environments. This allows our customers to protect themselves, as well as allows them to focus on their core business. As customers adopt more and more cloud services, a cloud-first security approach is essential to meeting those changed business dynamics. It's a great time to be in security. There is a lot of potential for us to go and help our customers to have the conversation that really allows them to focus in on what's important to them and leave the security work to Telstra and to Firstwave. I want to thank John and the team at Firstwave for asking me to come along today and have a quick chat with you. I hope you've got a little bit out of this. I want to thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
First of all, John, I'd like to start with you. This is a huge announcement from any perspective. Just give us a bit more depth of the significance of this launch to Firstwave.
Yeah, thanks, Kevin. Look, it's very significant for all the reasons that Roger has said, but it shouldn't just distract. I just want to make sure everyone clearly understands what it is that we're doing. We've invested many, many dollars, and Roger talked specifically about the amount of money that we've invested in this particular aspect of our software portfolio, but over many years, we've invested a lot of money. And what we have is a very, very, very solid and unique core set of technologies, which does all the things that it's been doing for our service providers and customers up until today. It should not be disregarded that all of that is the engine that sits behind what Roger's actually spoken about today. I've described it sort of as reskinning the product, and I think that's a bit of an understatement, but what I mean by that is that we've looked through this product from an enterprise software development point of view, and that is to say we've engineered a very robust product, a very big product, fully featured, full of integrity, always works. We've engineered that sort of core product. What we haven't done in looking at through it from a sort of enterprise development point of view is look at it from the other end. And the other end is, well, what are service providers really telling us that what they need, and what are end users telling us what they need? And this is the big change that I think's occurred inside Firstwave. We're looking outside in at our software now in CyberCision rather than inside out. And what we're now getting to is the heart of the issue. So, and Roger, painfully for all of us, when from a realization point of view, described what it is now that our partners are working with we're working with CCSP, the previous platform, and our end users were working with the previous services. The difficulties they had in doing that are now so apparent. So knowing that, this is what we've done, and what CyberCision is about is enabling that last little connection point to the people who are going to use the services and the people who are going to deliver the service. And I think, therefore, it's really significant sort of inside Firstwave, but it's also significant to those partners and customers. I think it's probably appropriate to sort of think of this launch in three parts. The first part is really almost all to do with the service provider. And you would have heard from what Roger was saying about the unlimited ways that they can now bundle, the unlimited level of integration that they can get into their internal systems, etc. The consistency now across all of the services on the platform to the one pane of glass from a management point of view. So the first part of this release, and it's available today as CyberCision is rolled out across our platforms, is predominantly aimed at the service provider. Now, Roger, just settle there. I know that it bleeds across between the service provider and the SMB, right? But predominantly the service provider. The second part, which is really aimed at the end of Q3 this financial year, is predominantly squarely at the SMB customer to give them the experience which is unique and complete. And our firm belief is that the first part will drive service provider adoption, but the second part will drive end user adoption and in turn put pressure on service providers to deliver. So we think that's a lovely proposition. The third part of it then goes back to the service providers, which is the marketplace integration, which is really critical. When you're working with a marketplace, there's zillions of organizations worldwide. You need to be able to get to them as efficiently as possible. And marketplaces today are the most efficient way of doing that. So what this sort of whole CyberCision launch is all about, and what the product is all about, is playing directly to the needs that have been articulated very clearly by our service providers and our customers. Now, our reasonable expectation of that is that we have answered the question, why has this company not been able to scale revenues? That's been the big question that everyone's been scratching their head about. Our shareholders scratch their head about it. We scratch our head about it until really the realization about we need to face outside in. So I think it's a very significant challenge, a very significant launch for Firstwave. I think it's very significant for shareholders. I think the opportunity is still, sorry to say, it's still a way away, but it's very clear now that we're going to be in a much, much better position to capitalise on the opportunity that everyone's seen for a long time.
Thanks, John. Kenny, Roger brought up this new word, OSMP, Open Secure Management Platform. It's new, but actually it's a massive opportunity. And what I want to do is try and bring together some of your numbers with what Roger talked about in terms of the launch. So can you comment on OSMP? Is it new? Is it unique? Who else is playing in it? And is this a big opportunity? Does CyberCision really lead the pace in the OSMP segment?
Sure. So I think this is definitely something that organizations on a smaller business level definitely need. I think cybersecurity is an issue that impacts all of us, large or small. But the smaller organizations are the ones that have it worse off, right? They have less resources, they're less able to retain teams. We've talked to end users, and some of them have actually attempted to start a team, attempted to maintain the team. But what happens is people start leaving, right? People get poached by other organizations. So they have this endless stream of having to get a new guy in and having to retrain the guy, spending a lot of effort. And in the end, they chose to go outsourcing. They chose to go to a managed security service provider. So this really reflects the reality on the ground, especially for smaller businesses. Most of the time, I mentioned earlier as well, is the single team that is doing multiple things. Sometimes they do cybersecurity without even being very, very fully trained in that area. So in my view, this CyberCision platform provides the opportunity for service providers to act as that bridge, especially for smaller businesses, to provide a way for these smaller businesses to transform themselves easily by getting these kind of services easily in a consistent manner through the service provider.
Thanks, Kenny. Simon, I'm going to bring you in now, if that's okay, just for you to comment on, what's different about the product that are already on, what's different between CyberCision and so many other products that are already out there. One of these SMBs just buy bits and pieces from what, because most of this you can just go online, pay, and buy. Why aren't they just doing that?
Yep. Yeah, sure, Kevin. So firstly, for our end customers, the products are high grade. They have the effectiveness and the accuracy of their enterprise equivalents, but the way we're presenting them is a simple, easy to manage format. And we're able to add over the top of that, then advanced analytics to detect and automatically respond to threats with a sophistication that's normally well beyond what an SMB has access to. And secondly, there's a difference in the way that customers consume these products. So rather than having to, as Kenny just mentioned, in a competitive market, having to find their own expertise and maintain a team, and then somehow stitch together multiple point solutions themselves, which, as Roger was mentioning, is incredibly complicated, they are able to consume security as a service in a simple way and also through their existing provider. So what this means is our platform enables for our partners a single place where their customers can find the complete solution for their needs. And we're the ones orchestrating this for them. We're orchestrating these services in such a way that they cross the boundaries between different security vendors and yet appear as a single product to the end customer. And the way this presents to those end customers is that of a bundled, branded experience where they buy security and all of it's automated for them and for the partner by the CyberCision platform.
I think the other point is that the service provider sitting in the middle there now, a lot of these customers can get bits and pieces directly off the cloud, but the service provider is not going to generate any revenue for themselves, right? So what CyberCision does is it enables the brand of that service provider to be made known. It's a trusted brand. If it's Telstra, if it's Tata, to those SMBs rather than some cloud-based company, God knows where, right? And start providing that service and get paid for it. That's a really important point. Kenny, you know, and I'm going to ask Roger this question. Kenny mentioned that 94% of SMBs at risk. I'm scratching my head thinking, I would say 100%. So where are those 6%? And I'm thinking that 6% are people, SMBs who just don't use the internet, because anybody connected to the internet is at risk today. I think it's you know, unanimous. It's 100% are at risk, right? So 100% of businesses are at risk. Why is Firstwave so focused on SMBs? And you know, what are the benefits that you know the SMBs can derive from CyberCision through the service provider partner? Rog, that's for you.
Oh, that's for me. Thanks, Kevin. Yeah. Look. I think, as Kenny might have mentioned before, I think there's two aspects to this. The SMBs for us represent a need and an opportunity. So I think on one hand, as Kenny mentioned, SMBs are particularly under-resourced and under-skilled. You know, they are just prime candidates. They're vulnerable. They're prime candidates for cyber criminals to attack for that very reason. And therefore, I'd argue SMBs need a perimeter security solution around their employees and their users that's at least as good as larger enterprises get. Now, on the other hand, and this makes things worse, right, on the supply side of things, SMBs are actually underserved in the market by security vendors, right? So they largely target mid-market. When I mean mid-market, I mean 1,000 employee companies or larger enterprises, and they don't serve the SMB. So they're really leaving the SMBs to fend for themselves with bit part solutions. And you know, as you said, Kevin, there's a large percent of SMEs that are seriously worried about cybersecurity and attack, and they're worried that they're going to be taken out by it. So you know what we're doing. Yeah, absolutely.
Just another survey that came out recently, September 2021, 75% of SMBs are worried about are more worried about cybersecurity than 12 months ago, okay? But 70 to 85% of SMBs, listen to this, across Asia, believe a serious cyber incident could end their business. What I'm going to do is I'm going to now play, let's listen to, that was the leading telco in Australia. Want to hear from one of the leaders in India. So if I can, I'm going to ask Damo to cue the video so we can hear from Sai Pratush, Group Product Head, Tata Business Services India.
Hi, my name is Sai Pratyush and I'm the Group Product Head for IoT, Cloud and SaaS for Tata Tele Business Services, which is India's leading telecom service provider for enterprise customers, especially SMEs. With India carving a niche for itself in the IT sector, dependence on technology is also increasing. However, there are two things that set India aside from most countries, and that is design and density. With Indians using the internet for all their needs, ranging from shopping to banking, studying to storing data, cybercrimes have also increased in proportion to usage. Various studies point out that SMEs, which is one of the fastest growing business segments in India, are not prepared to handle cloud-related cybersecurity threats and assume that public clouds are secure by default. However, post the pandemic, SMEs are beginning to take a more proactive approach to cybersecurity, and at Tata Tele Business Services, we are enabling SMEs with a wide range of security solutions powered by Firstwave. At Tata Tele Business Services, we believe that security preparedness is critical for an organization's success, and hence have invested heavily in creating a proposition that is geared to meet their security needs. SMEs want simple but robust solutions, and here is where our partnership with Firstwave comes into the picture. The partnership ensures that we are in a position to offer a wide range of security solutions, which are not only offered individually, but also as closely intertwined or bundled with the communication portfolio that we provide to customers across India. Over the last 1 year, we've been providing a host of cybersecurity solutions to SMEs in India in partnership with Firstwave. The platform-based approach allows us to offer greater flexibility and control, not only in terms of the proposition that we take to customers, but also in terms of how we ultimately service these customers. Most importantly, the partnership has enabled us to launch a best-in-class security portfolio very quickly in the marketplace. We believe that with the launch of CyberCision, we now have greater ability to tightly bundle security solutions with our core telecom proposition and truly become a one-stop shop ICT solutions provider in the Indian SME landscape.
John, I'm going to hand back to you because we're out of time.
Thank you very much, Kevin. And look, thanks to all of the people who participated in the panel. To Kenny, thank you for your input. To Roger and to Simon. Also, obviously, to our partners, Matt O'Brien from Telstra and Sai Pratush from Tata Tele Business Services. And to those on the call, I hope we've met your expectations. Before I go off it, though, we've got one question from Mike Fittler. Mike, you asked, is CyberCision going to be white labelled? Yes, it is, and that will continue as CCSP has done previously. The second part of your question was, did you ask the customers of your customers if they see the telco ISP as a reputable source of delivering cybersecurity? The answer to that is yes. That's where we came up with the whole digital front end. But we also asked our service providers that question. And again, their response was yes. And what they're really saying is, gosh, if you can make it easy for them to adopt, it makes our job easier. So we think that we've covered both of those. Thank you. Damon Feely asked, what part of the FCT business and approach do you feel receives less appreciation, is being ignored, that holds significantly more upside than broadly recognised? Oh, gosh. That's a very hard question, Damon. It's a very, very hard-working business, Firstwave. I said this at our last investor call, and I've repeated it to our team internally a number of times. You know, it's a very committed business. We're not in the sort of, you know, who gets the most kudos, if you like, but we're actually a team. I think to answer your question specifically, though, I think it's difficult to come to terms with the skill and capability of our software development team. The only way you get to be a global company trying to sell these sorts of solutions worldwide is if you've really got something. And, there's no question we've got that. I think our support team who supports our customers and brings on our customers and gives them the experience that they need. And our sales and marketing. So I'm across all of them. I think they all get the best thing. And Nick Harris says, hi team, have you tested CyberCision API's integration with your partner platform to see smoothly the integration process works end to end? Thanks. The answer is yes. Thank you, Nick. Right, thanks to all of those who've asked questions. Thank you to all of you. We hope that we met your expectations and that today has helped you understand that we at Firstwave are justifiably excited about CyberCision and confident it is the key to unlocking the tremendous opportunity in front of us. Thanks for joining us and for your continued support, and have a great day.